On the morning of August 6, 1945, the world would never be the same after the United States dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan. While the explosion itself was devastating, it was followed by an even more bizarre and terrifying phenomenon, the black rain. This strange, dark precipitation, laced with radioactive fallout, became one of the most chilling aspects of the Hiroshima disaster, leaving a lasting impact on the survivors and the history of warfare. In today's video, we'll delve into the history and science behind this eerie weather event, its connection to one of the deadliest acts of war in history, and its lasting effects on the survivors and the world. The black rain isn't just a historical event. It's a haunting reminder of the devastating consequences of nuclear warfare. What is the black rain? The black rain refers to a phenomenon that occurred shortly after the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. This rain was dark in color, ranging from a deep brown to black, and fell over large areas surrounding the city. It was made up of a mixture of soot, ash, and radioactive fallout from the explosion. The rain occurred when the bomb exploded, creating an intense fireball that vaporized much of the city and sent radioactive particles into the atmosphere. These particles later condensed and fell back to the ground as rain. What made this rain particularly dangerous was its radioactive content, which led to severe health issues for those who were exposed to it. For many survivors, the black rain became one of the most traumatic aspects of the bombing. It was a constant reminder of the horror they had experienced and the radioactive contamination that would affect them for years to come. The spread of the black rain. The black rain didn't just fall in Hiroshima itself, but also spread to surrounding areas, affecting regions as far as 30 kilometers, 18 miles, away from the blast site. The fallout was carried by wind patterns, with some reports suggesting that the rain fell as far as the neighboring city of Kure. What made this spread even more disturbing was that the black rain didn't fall all at once. Instead, it came in intermittent downpours, often in the form of light drizzles or heavy rain. Many survivors recall the rain as strange and unsettling, but they were unaware of its radioactive nature at the time. It wasn't until later that the full extent of the danger became clear. The effects of the black rain on survivors. The impact of the black rain on survivors was both immediate and long-lasting. Those who were caught in the rain were exposed to radiation, which contributed to a range of health problems. Many individuals who were affected by the black rain suffered from radiation sickness, which included symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, and hair loss. Over time, the survivors also experienced long-term effects, such as increased rates of cancer, particularly leukemia, and other radiation-induced diseases. The radioactive fallout from the black rain caused severe genetic mutations in some individuals, and many children born to survivors suffered from birth defects. The psychological toll of the black rain was equally devastating. For many survivors, it was a constant reminder of the horror they had endured, and the uncertainty about their future health added to their trauma. The survivors' stories of the black rain remain an essential part of the historical memory of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, government response, and the aftermath. In the immediate aftermath of the bombing, the Japanese government was slow to respond to the consequences of the black rain. There was little awareness or understanding of the full impact of radioactive fallout, and the survivors were often left to deal with the aftermath on their own. It wasn't until years later that the Japanese government officially acknowledged the existence of the black rain and its link to radiation exposure. The recognition of the black rain as a significant factor in the health problems faced by survivors led to the creation of compensation programs for those affected. However, many survivors struggled to receive recognition and compensation for their suffering, with some even being denied recognition as atomic bomb victims due to the lack of formal documentation of their exposure to the black rain. It wasn't until the 1990s that survivors began to receive more comprehensive support, thanks in part to the efforts of advocacy groups and public awareness campaigns. The lasting legacy of the black rain. The legacy of the black rain continues to haunt those who lived through the events of August 6, 1945. The survivors, known as hibakusha, have worked tirelessly to ensure that future generations understand the horrors of nuclear warfare and the long-lasting effects of radiation exposure. The black rain also serves as a potent symbol of the destructive power of nuclear weapons. It is a stark reminder of the dangers of atomic warfare, and many survivors have dedicated their lives to promoting peace and disarmament. Hiroshima and Nagasaki have become powerful symbols of peace, and the stories of the black rain continue to resonate with those who advocate for a world free of nuclear weapons. The scientific study of the black rain has also contributed to our understanding of radiation exposure and its effects on human health. Researchers continue to study the long-term consequences of radiation from nuclear events, and their findings have influenced policy decisions surrounding nuclear safety and the use of nuclear energy. The black rain and its cultural impact. Beyond its immediate scientific and health implications, the black rain has also had a profound cultural impact in Japan and around the world. In Japan, it has been immortalized in literature, art, and film, symbolizing the collective trauma experienced by the people of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. One of the most famous literary works inspired by the black rain is the novel Black Rain by Masuji Ibuse, which was published in 1966. The novel tells the story of a family living in the aftermath of the bombing, with a particular focus on the effects of radiation sickness. The book was later adapted into a film in 1989, further cementing the black rain as a symbol of the horrors of war. The cultural impact of the black rain has extended beyond Japan, inspiring international efforts to promote nuclear disarmament and peace. The image of the dark rain falling from the sky has become a powerful symbol in global anti-nuclear movements, reminding the world of the devastating consequences of nuclear conflict. Lessons learned from the black rain. The black rain is not just a tragic chapter in history. It also offers important lessons about the consequences of unchecked technological power and the devastating impact of nuclear warfare. The effects of the black rain serve as a stark reminder of why nuclear weapons must never be used again. From the survivors' testimony to scientific studies, the black rain has provided invaluable insights into the dangers of radiation exposure and the long-term consequences of nuclear disasters. Its impact continues to shape global discussions on nuclear policy, energy use, and international peace efforts. In the wake of the black rain, Hiroshima has become a symbol of hope, resilience, and the pursuit of peace. The city's Peace Memorial Park and museum serve as reminders of the horrors of war and the need for a world without nuclear weapons. The survivors' stories are preserved to ensure that future generations learn from the past and strive for a more peaceful future. The Black Rain of Japan is more than just a weather event. It's a powerful symbol of the devastation wrought by nuclear warfare. Its haunting presence in the aftermath of the Hiroshima bombing left an indelible mark on the survivors and the world, serving as a reminder of the lasting effects of radiation and the need for peace. As we look to the future, it's essential that we remember the lessons learned from the Black Rain. The world must work together to ensure that such a tragedy is never repeated. The stories of the survivors and the impact of the Black Rain should inspire us all to advocate for a world free from the threat of nuclear weapons and the destruction they bring. Let us remember and let us strive for peace. The Black Rain of Japan is not just a haunting reminder of the past, but also a symbol of the devastating impact of war and nuclear weapons. It serves as a powerful call to action for peace, urging us to never forget the horrors that come with the use of such destructive forces. The survivors of Hiroshima and the stories of those affected by the Black Rain continue to inspire the world to work towards a future free from nuclear threat and conflict. As we reflect on this dark chapter in history, let's ensure we never repeat the mistakes of the past. The lessons learned from the Black Rain are too important to ignore. Thank you for watching and joining us on this journey through history. If you're moved by this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep learning about the powerful events that have shaped our world. Until next time, let's stand together for peace, understanding, and a future where humanity never has to face such devastation again.